Hi, everybody, and welcome to Ringside Muhammad Ali here on ESPN Classic. I'm Brian Kenny, just blocks away from the Brooklyn Bridge at the site of another historic New York City landmark, Gleason's Gym, home for hundreds of world champions. Over the next 3 hours, we'll roll out vintage Ali bouts from the Classic Library and sprinkle in some hidden gems from the archives. Plus, commentary throughout the broadcast from our distinguished panel. Boxing historian Bert Sugar, Canadian heavyweight George Chuvalo, boxing author and columnist Jerry Eisenberg, ESPN boxing analyst Teddy Atlas, and former heavyweight champion and Ali sparring partner Larry Holmes.
Cassius Clay is standing there amidst his followers, and at this point, we'll get someone over and find out. Angelo Dundee, Angelo, the manager of the World Heavyweight Champion, the manager on record, Angelo Dundee, who along with Bill Fabersham and the 10 other Louisville gentlemen who had him, the Louisville sponsoring group. Wait a second. Angelo? He's still on microphone. We're trying to get somebody to you, ladies and gentlemen. All we can say at this point, as we look into the face of Cassius Clay, let's get Angelo Dundee, the manager, and at one time, bring him over here, bring him back. You got the heavyweight champion, you got the light heavyweight champion. Did you think after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 that you had it wrapped up?
Lead pipe cinch. I knew he was going to knock the guy out, Steve. But I thought he was going to knock him out 11 and 12. And he was 11 and 12. Apart, see?
All right, lead pipe cinch, you call it.
That's right.
And tell me this. What are his plans? Would he fight a guy in the top 6, say like an Eddie Machen, for example?
Fight anybody. He'll be a fighting heavyweight champion. It's the best thing that happened to boxing.
All right. When you say the best thing, why? Why do you give us that story?
This guy gives a lot of zets in boxing. Keeps people talking boxing. What do we want? We need people like that in boxing. It's a fresh young kid that we need. And this kid's done a lot for boxing. I'm thrilled to be with him.
Well, you certainly have done a good job of teaching him, schooling him. Now, do you think that Liston, or will you give Liston a return fight?
Well, that's up to Bill Fabersham. I feel there'll be no problem. I feel they'll get together if the money's right.
No problem if the money's right. He's still making speeches over there. Maybe Joe is getting him on his mic. At least I hope he is. Angelo, thank you. Over here now again, Cassius. Ange just said you perhaps would give Sonny, if Bill Fabersham and you say okay, a return shot.
If the man dreamed he fought me twice, he would apologize.
He would apologize.
He would apologize.
All right, now, Cassius.
There was no match. I want the world to know I'm so great until Sonny Liston was not even a match. I don't have a mark on my face. In the 5th round, he had liniment in his head, he had liniment in his gloves, and I couldn't do nothing but hold him and duck.
Now hold it, y'all. Sonny, Cassius, you said
my eyes was burning.
Right. We thought that maybe Ange or one of your cornermen put some stuff on the towel by mistake.
The man's trainers are dirty.
He had fingers are dirty.
He had liniment. He had liniment in his head.
Did he stick you with his thumb? Is that what you're trying to say?
My whole face is burning.
Your face was burning.
Still burning. I whooped him. He couldn't even hurt me. And I very much admit, it was the prettiest thing that ever lived.
Hold it. Here's a guy.
I just shook up the
Joe
world.
Lewis. Joe, come on in and ask Cassius. Joe, tell Cassius about the injury that Sonny suffered. Wait a minute. No excuse.
Open eye.
No excuse. Joe, tell him.
It was a big cut eye.
Go ahead, Joe. Tell him. It wasn't a cut eye.
Doctor say he pulled his left arm out of the socket.
Swinging and nothing. Who wouldn't?
Also got it.
He wasn't doing nothing. Sam Cooke. Hey, let that man up here.
He'll be up. No, wait, hold it now.
Let that man up.
He's coming up.
Let that man up.
He's coming up. Now listen, Cassius, hold it.
This is Sam Cooke.
Joe, we see him. Joe, ask Cassius another question.
Let's stay on me. This is the
all right,
world's
Cap.
rock and roll thing.
All right. Liston's shoulder went out. Sam Cooke, a very good friend, a good vocalist with Cassius. Excuse me.
We both
move back if you will.
Thank you. Take up the world. Now he's got an excuse. His arm was out of
Lewis
place.
is talking. Hold it. All right, thank you, Sam. Thank you, but hold it.
Left shoulder in his corner. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Stop. Once again with the escalation of the injury.
ladies and gentlemen, Sonny Liston, doctor stopped the fight because he threw the left.
Steve Ellis, I want to tell the people out here, Steve Ellis said that I would get Liston, and Steve Ellis, I also told Steve Ellis that I would get him in the 7th, Steve Ellis. Didn't I say
You
7?
did. You said 7 to me.
I didn't tell the press.
You kept your word.
I told him I'd get him in 7, but the world didn't hear that.
Before the fight,
Just
you
before
said
the fight,
7.
I said I'd get him in 7. Steve Ellis heard it.
Thank you very much. He did tell me that, ladies and gentlemen. He gave me the insight on that, and I gave it to Joe. Joe, tell me this now. What will happen if they go back again? I think it's deserving of a return goal.
It will be. I think they have a return goal, but Steve, I like to tell the people and all the theater over the world
in Europe and Canada,
the fight was stopped. Sonny Liston doctor stopped the fight because Sonny had thrown his left shoulder out of the socket.
Out of the socket.
Yeah.
Champ, did this ever happen to you when you were in the ring?
Never did, but it do happen to quite a few fighters, though.
It does, I know this.
As you know, Sonny was missing a lot of left hooks.
Why was he missing? Was it the target? Was it the slippery up part of his body?
Yeah, because Clay will pull him back off a tall, see? So that's why he throwed it out. That's how he throwed it out.
Threw it out.
Would not let him
That was Dr. Alexander Robbins who diagnosed it, yes.
Dr. Robert Bennett from Detroit.
And Dr. Bennett also in the corner. Dr. Bennett, who was Sonny's
personal physician.
Right. And that's the story there. Now, we're watching Cassius Clay, Joe, leave the auditorium at this point. I don't want you to leave. Cassius Clay is going down the aisle. The crowd is heading toward his dressing rooms. Harold Conrad, one of the top writers in the nation, also thought that perhaps this would go in a major upset. Harold was writing some publicity, and I honestly thought he was just giving us a publicity story.
Steve, I must say that they're probably the biggest upset in history of boxing.
So Cassius Clay, soon to be Muhammad Ali, becomes the heavyweight champion of the world, and Joe Louis, ringside, Bert, adding some historical perspective, calling it the greatest upset of all time in the heavyweight division. Is it? Is it number one all time?
Even at that time, I don't think it was. If you look back, I think that Joe Louis, with a convenient, if you will, non-remembrance of his own fall, lost to Max Schmeling in 36 in the greatest upset of all time. So great, 10-to-1 odds, those that could get him, that in the Journal American in New York, they were picking all writers who would win, as they did as a standard feature. They had nobody picking Schmeling. They told the copy boy, "You're picking Schmeling." He said, "Me." He rode that to become the sports editor later. So that's number one.
All right, give me your top five.
Number two, the fight we just saw.
Okay.
Clay and Liston. Number three, I would put to you that Douglas and Tyson, which hadn't happened at the time.
Right.
And it was 42-1, though nobody knows who bet it and where it was bet,
right.
So we're dealing with that.
But it was another thing where you really couldn't find anybody picking Buster Douglas to beat Mike Tyson.
At all.
Absolutely. All right.
And I doubt that there were any bets made. Somebody just did that as a publicity stunt. Number four, I've got Bear and Braddock. Yes, I finally have it in there.
Cinderella Man. Yep.
10-to-1 odds, upset of a real quick story on that. Max Bear, there was a woman planted by the Braddock camp in the first row, blonde. She waved at Max all night. He waved back at her all night. That was it. That was the fight.
There's all sorts of stories of distraction with Max Bear, by the way,
yes.
even before that fight.
Oh, yeah. Before that fight, he said, "Would somebody get me a damn beer?" I mean, that was his quote going out to the ring. And the fifth I would have is the first Holyfield-Tyson fight, 18-1.
It was stunning that everyone thought at that point Tyson, even back from jail, Holyfield, a blown-up former cruiserweight champion, would get knocked around. And I thought that too, Bert.
And here Holyfield had not looked good in his last fights. Bobby Ches and others. He'd lumbered, he'd labored, and they thought it was a walkthrough. So much so that Tyson thought it was going to be a walkthrough as well.
What about Leon Spinks, so early in his career beating Muhammad Ali?
Granted, it was his 8th fight. Looking back on it, I don't think it was that big an upset. I think it was a surprise, yes. But you saw that Ali had nothing, basically. And Leon barrel-chested him into a decision.
But still stunning at the time. Another one that's stunning, that was, again, having watched it closely and figuring it could never happen, George Foreman taking out Michael Moore. No matter what you thought of Michael Moore, you didn't expect Foreman to knock him out.
No, and I would put to you, even looking back, it's a great upset. Not one of the 5 greatest. But I think that because Michael Moore wasn't in the class of, say, the Tyson as we saw him, or the Max Bear as they saw him, or the Liston as we just saw him, not one of the top 5. But still, you could have made money on that, as you could have all of them.
All right.
Why weren't you looking closer?
I don't know. If we only knew, Bert. When we come back, so much controversy in Lewiston, Maine for the rematch between then Muhammad Ali and against Sonny Liston. Why Lewiston, Maine? We'll talk about that when we come back ringside, Muhammad Ali. Ringside here on ESPN Classic. We're at Gleason's Gym. Brian Kenny, Burt Randolph, Sugar, and Jerry Eisenberg. We're getting ready now for the rematch between now Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston. First one, they were having it in Boston, right? Jerry, what happened that it didn't happen in Boston?
Sonny got in the best shape of his life ever, and I think he could have won that fight. Ali came up with a hernia in the middle of the night, which was genuine. The fight was canceled and moved, and finally was chased out of Boston. Nobody wanted it, so they wound up in Poland Springs, Maine, a lovely town where the Poland Springs Hotel was the focal point press headquarters. It had presidents' pictures around the wall, stopped at Coolidge, urine-stained carpets.
Oh,
it was a
beautiful.
magnificent relic.
and
Time stood still, evidently, yeah.
And between Lewiston and Poland Springs, and there were no restaurants, no anything, no accommodations. It was probably the worst experience I've had as covering a fight in my life.
Tough.
But you know, how did it land there? I mean, were just no other cities wanted to be involved
Harold
at this point?
Conrad.
Well, in part, but also Sam Silverman had the promotional.
Well,
Sam Silverman was a Boston promoter. And when it was chased out of Boston because of a conflict of interest, Jack Nyland was a promoter. He also was a manager. Goodbye. That's against the rules. Sam Silverman puts it in New England. He has to put it in New England because there's a TV closed circuit date.
Okay.
And he's got to retain his right to promote.
Okay.
And he sticks it where? Lewiston, Maine, where the sign said "Welcome and come back," the same sign.
Yeah.
Jerry, talk about what you saw morning of that fight.
Well, Jack Nyland, the manager, and his brother, I guess it was Bob Nyland, I think it was his brother, had been fighting all along with Sonny. It was like, you knew this thing was ripping apart. And they're standing in the corner, and Sonny says to him, can I say it?
No. Yeah.
Sonny says to him, perform an anatomical impossibly act. Okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to see you again. I don't care who you're telling what. You're not selling enough tickets. What are you doing? I got my money. Screw you. I didn't, what did this mean? Nothing at the time. But when Sonny's laying there and Ali's looking over him like a madman, won't go to the, screaming at him, get up, sucker, they'll think it's fake. And he looks up at him and he realizes this guy's crazy and the guy could kill him. And then he looks over at Nylon and he says, screw you. And he stays down because he's been paid. The money's in the bank. He doesn't care anymore.
I have a different take on it. He got hit. He's reaching in with his left hand.
Oh, he did get hit.
And his left foot goes up when he gets hit, and you can see him shudder, and he goes down.
Right.
Now, maybe he stayed down, but his answer was, and it was the same as Joe Walcott, the referees, and there's an interesting scenario going on.
Right. We'll talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that he just thought he was going to get hurt if he got up, because there's a crazy man standing over him who might kick him in the head, and Walcott, the referee, thinks the same thing.
He did get hit. I have no doubt about that. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. But he could have gotten up. It wasn't that kind of blow. He could have gotten up, and he lay down there and he looked almost like saying, please, say 10, it comes after 9, get the hell out of here.
And Walcott didn't count at all. He was busy. He's busy with Clay, and then Ali, moving him around, getting him out of here.
We're going to take a look at this fight right now. Only 2,400 plus in Lewiston, Maine, to see the rematch for the heavyweight championship of the world, Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston. Watch closely. Doesn't last long.
2:15 a quarter, Liston. Sonny was first guy on the scales, as you see, and he was 2 3/4 pounds lighter than the last time out, 215 1/4. And the champion got on the scales surprisingly light, surprisingly low, 206. Well, both fighters were very confident. Flexed the muscles for about 1,000 faithful fans that watched the weigh-in ceremonies. Then he started shadowboxing in front of Sonny Liston, telling Sonny what he was going to do to him tonight, right now, the night of the big fight. So what do we think? Just hold on and you'll get a pretty good idea of exactly what's going to happen. Those are the weigh-in ceremonies. That's the story of Lewiston. That's the story of the big fight. Coming into the ring, up the ring stairs, and he's being booed. Angelo Dundee, Drew Brown, Bodini, right in that picture. Dundee walked out of it momentarily. And the fighters will be sitting down shortly to put those 8-ounce leather gloves on. And while they're doing that, naturally, we're going to go back to the ring announcer, Johnny Addy, and Johnny will bring us up to date telling us all about the celebrities that we have in the squared circle. So we'll give you the feel of exactly what we have in store tonight. It's a big night. All important people here. Johnny, tell us who we have.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are some introductions. From the nightclub, Billy Daniels, singer Billy Daniels. May we have the gloves into the ring, please? The gloves. Come into the ring with the gloves, please. One of the top contenders for heavyweight championship honors, the popular heavyweight champion of Canada, George Chuvalo. Retired featherweight champion, Sandy Sadler. One of the greatest featherweight champions of all time, Willie Pep. Newly crowned light heavyweight champion, Jose Torres. Former heavyweight king, the Cinderella Man, James J. Braddock. The only man ever to regain the heavyweight title, two-time heavyweight champion of the world, Floyd Patterson. Former heavyweight champion from Boston, Jack Sharkey. Retired, undefeated heavyweight king, Rocky Marciano. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. Ladies and gentlemen, Intercontinental Promotions Incorporated, Robert A. Nylon President, and Arena AA present the main event, 15 rounds for the heavyweight championship of the world. The principals, introducing from Denver, Colorado, he's wearing black trunks, he weighs 215 1/4, the former heavyweight champion, and now the challenger, Sonny Liston.
Sonny Liston, very popular with the folks here in Lewiston, Maine. No kidding about that.
His opponent from Louisville, Kentucky. He's wearing white trunks. He weighs 206. The heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali. Ladies and gentlemen, Jersey Joe Walcott will now give the instructions.
Muhammad Ali, better known as Cassius Clay. Let's listen to the referee.
Matches both work very hard for, and I know you're both in good condition. I'm not going to go with a lot of preliminaries. I know you both know the rules of Maine, so I'm in here to enforce them. So I'll say to you, keep your punches up, protect yourself at all times. Good luck. Shake hands, come out fighting.
15 rounds or less. The world heavyweight title, the big fight, the big night. Unusual locale, Lewiston, Maine, round number 1. They score the fight here on a 10-point must scoring system, and well, get your pencil and pad handy. We're waiting for that bell for round 1. Here we go. You'll note that Cassius wants to stay out in the center of the ring where he happens to be the king. Sonny Liston in the dark trunks is chasing that man straight away. Is that a mistake? Beautiful right-hand shot that you saw. That was the best punch thus far landed by the champion. We note that early, halfway through this first round, that Sonny is shooting mostly, although he's going to the head now, mostly toward that body. You know the old story, you kill the body and the head might follow. Knockdown, ladies and gentlemen, a right-hand shot. A right-hand shot on the chin. Jersey Joe Walcott. Sonny cannot move. Check the time.
All right, so it's chaos, and for a lot of reasons.
It's more chaos than KO.
With Jersey Joe Walcott, and we'll get to that. But first, as far as a guy who not known for his power, certainly his one-punch power, do you think that punch was legit?
Oh, there's no question in my mind. I watched that tape. There was another tape, that film, that was supposed to be played in the movies. You know, they always used to be in the movies a week later and all that. The fight was so short, they never put it in the movies, to my knowledge. And I saw that tape. And what happened is, if you see the whole round, Liston's coming. He's throwing jabs. They're like 7.5 feet short. But he's missing, and he's missing, and he's missing.
He's reaching.
And well, he can't reach him. He's missing and missing and missing. Finally, he misses like the 90th jab, and Ali's hand is up here. And he's gonna block the punch. So he says, what am I doing? I see there's the guy's head. He came down like that. That's where he invented his karate chop.
Yeah, he twisted it too.
Yeah, he twisted it, he came down, he hurt him. He absolutely hurt him. Did he knock him out? Absolutely not.
Let's take a look at another. I know Jerry is saying that he stayed down and he wanted to stay down, but here's another look at it. And this in color, and we get to look. I know I've seen different versions of it too, where you can see Liston's neck and his spine just shudder from the impact of that shot. And he was lunging in, and he'd hit him with a right hand earlier in that round that was actually seemed to be a lot harder, but this one puts him down. Now, from this point, this is what stuns me, guys. He goes back down. Now, Jerry, you're thinking his equilibrium is fine at that point?
I think he's looking for Joe Walcott to say 10. He wants to get out of it.
I have a different take, if I may. As much as I delight in Jerry and respect him, I think he was dazed. You can see him dazed here, trying to carry on the fight. And also,
Walcott is going where here, Bert? Explain. He's going to Nat Fleischer?
Yeah, no, he's being called over by the publisher of Ring Magazine, Nat Fleischer, who is sitting next to the timekeeper, Francis McDonough, who has told Fleischer he was down for 22 seconds. Fleischer now calls over Walcott, which is why he's out of the frame of the picture. And I think referees, it said, should be invisible. He's totally invisible. He's out of the picture. Head leaning out. The two are still fighting, but you can see Liston is dazed. Goes over, separates them, and holds up Ali's hand. I mean, it looked like Larry Moe and Curly were running the fight.
One quick addendum to that. 4 years later in the coffee shop at the Thunderbird Hotel, I'm having brunch with Sonny Liston. And I said, well, Sonny, you lost the fight. And he said, yeah, I lost the fight. I must have lost the fight. Nat Fleischer said I lost the fight.
Right. Well, sir, the referee has to either pick up the count, or if he's trying to get his guy to the neutral corner, he's got to just pick up his count or use his own count at that point.
Also throw him out if he doesn't go to the neutral corner.
Right, that's right.
He's running around. Walcott said he was afraid he'd kick him in the head. He said he's got a crazy man. He didn't pick up the count. He couldn't find the timekeeper. And the anchor punch, which is what Ali called it, which he said step and fetch it, taught him, which was really a corkscrew punch. He's lying there, falling down again, but I think he's hurt. I disagree with Jerry on that because he's now fighting again as Walcott goes over, and you can see he's dazed.
Right.
I mean, he's not, he's wobbling around on Leon Earl legs.
He was not in a great, to me, this guy could afford. And I forget how much time was left in the round. I don't remember.
Even the timekeeper said 1 minute. That was another screw up.
Yeah.
It was 1 minute and 52 seconds. Nobody had anything right.
It's stunning just to see how you have an ex-heavyweight champion in there, but what a complete disaster with Joe Walcott with the handling of that.
No wonder only 2,000 some showed up.
That's it. Right, you said what? More media than fans, Jerry said. All right, we'll be back more on the aftermath of Ali Liston from Lewiston. Before we leave, though, another sidebar here. Perhaps the most famous sports photograph ever is Neil Leifer's shot of Ali hovering over Liston. Leifer explains now how he got that most revered image.
One thing that fascinates me about the photograph to this day is I assumed that Muhammad stood with his fist cocked for a second or two, glaring at Liston to get up. When I saw the film in the last 3 or 4 years, for the first time I actually looked at the film of that knockout. It happened so fast, bing, and it was gone. And it just makes me feel so good about having captured that moment. You certainly wouldn't deny the fact that today this is the only picture of Liston Clay 2 that everyone remembers. Sports Illustrated, in fact, put the picture on its cover, but, you know, the day the magazine came out, you know, a couple of people said, nice shot. Nobody was, you know, patting me on the back and telling me I had taken something special that would indeed become an icon. So clearly, it was Ali's rise in prominence and you know, just in stature that caused this picture to become kind of the icon that I think people think it is.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the timekeeper counted out Liston in 1 minute of the first round. 1 minute of the first round, the winner by a knockout. And still a heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, Kaiser Clay. Come here, Angelo, get him over here, if you will. Ladies and gentlemen, we saw it a little better than halfway through that first round. He's now talking to the press. We have the entire Mutual network of over 800 stations, 80 million listeners in with our closed circuit audience. Let's find out all about the punch. Angelo, let's get him over. Move over. Watch the cable. All right, Cassius. Wait a minute now. Muhammad Ali, better known as Cassius Clay. Muhammad, what was the punch that won it for you? You're a real champion at this point.
Well, the punch won the fight for me. I believe it was a left hook or a right cross. And one of the two, I really can't think because I was moving too fast.
A left hook or a right cross?
That's right.
All right, now, did you think you were going to be able to do it in the first round? You did it in 6 rounds last time, Cassius.
Did not tell the world that I had a surprise, and that if I told you the surprise, you would not come to the fight. With me was Almighty Allah and his messenger, and I've been saying my prayers regular, living a righteous life, and as you see, what happened.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, let me ask you this, if I may. Cassius, wait a minute. Muhammad. All right, no, wait a minute. Okay, all right, Muhammad, tell me this. Did you think, did Liston hit you with any kind of shot that maybe hurt you, any whack toward the body?
No, he hit at my body, but he hit my arms instead.
He hit your arms instead.
I'm a little too fast, Steve, to be hit by
You seemed very confident at the beginning. Why were you that confident coming out?
I'm confident because Allah's with me and his messenger, Elijah Muhammad.
All right, now, Muhammad, tell me this. What did you really knock him out with the left hook and the right smash?
Well, I would like to see the videotape if you have it.
All right, do we have the videotape? Yes, we do.
Show you more.
All right, we have the videotape, and let's try for viewers all over the world see what we have. We're going to run it back, I believe, in slow motion. Don't lean on me, fellas, please. If you don't mind, this is a hectic scene. But now look.
Get that after
now listen.
Jacket.
No, that's
a beauty.
Thank you, Angelo.
Like
you must be a happy guy. While we're waiting for this tape to be replayed, Mohammed, who would you like to go against next?
Well, I guess we'll get the rabbit, Floyd Patterson, next. He wants to beat me up.
There you are. There you are. Let me
see what he can do.
Now there's the beginning of the fight.
They cut it on fast motion. We don't need
no. It's slow motion because we want to entertain the folks. We want them to see what you just told us.
I understand. I end it so fast. You want them to get something for the money, huh?
Yes, I do. All right. Now this is the beginning of the first round. Jersey Joe Walcott's the referee. Now what was that? A right over a left?
That fast right hand that no heavyweight in the world has.
Now that left hook, did that jar the guy?
I don't know, Steve. I didn't feel it.
All right, now look. Did you improve with the right hand?
Look at that beautiful grace, fella. You've never seen a man in history move like this. Notice that. Ain't that beautiful? Dodging all of those powerful punches. You notice him floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. That's my old saying.
Well, that is your old saying. Now, what are you feigning
look at that beautiful
this guy?
work.
Are you feigning it all?
Marciano, none of them was no prettier. Look at the time. Look.
All right, now, Cassius, Mohammed, were you feigning this guy at any time?
Well, Steve, I've feinted him a few times.
Now, look, we stopped our cameras. And there's Sonny moving toward you with what he considers his big bombs. Did you think he'd be able to lower the boom?
Yeah, Sonny have big bombs, but as you see, with those bombs, he couldn't find nothing to hit.
He couldn't. Now, I noticed you got out of close range pretty fast. Was that your battle plan?
Here's the knockout, Steve.
No, come on. Well, Mohammed, tell us now. What was your battle plan?
I'm just watching him, letting him throw a few punches. He's strong, man. He's got a lot in energy. Let him tire himself out a little, miss a few, fill him out. When a man misses punches, he loses confidence. And as you see, I'm just floating around, taking my time, watching him, listening to the people boo. As you know, the world Liston was a gangster, a criminal. But now, as you know, everybody was for him. I guess I was the villain. Although I live a righteous life, I was the villain. So I guess God just wanted the world to see that no wicked, evil criminal can whoop a righteous man.
Let me interrupt you. What did you do there with your feet?
Beautiful footwork. I was getting ready to come in there with a pretty right, but he was in the way.
He was in the way.
Yes, I must say this was an easy payday. My shape was so good, it really surprised me. I came in with
now you're going to hit him. Watch closely. Watch closely. Is it a right-hand counter? You tell us what it is. I think it was a right-hand counter, not the left hook that you talked about a while ago.
Well, didn't I tell you that Liston said in my poem, I want the world to know that I apologize. This kid is so fast, he can't be touched, you know.
Now watch this. Watch closely. He's still the aggressor, at least moving towards you.
This is scientific action, you see. I'm a creative fighter, just taking my time and watching him. The man is a little afraid. All of this talk about somebody coming in the arena with bombs and machine guns scared him to death. It didn't scare me, but it scared him.
Well, now, Bodini, there it is. That was the right-hand counter.
Let's watch it. Let's watch it.
A right-hand counter, as I saw it.
Steve, you have never saw the real Muhammad Ali. I haven't had time to warm up yet.
You haven't?
I haven't had time to just sit down and
let's look at it again. Now, that right hand was good. He aims toward the belly. He hit you under the heart there.
Yeah, I didn't feel it.
You didn't?
No, let's watch it. I thank Allah for his messenger, Elijah Muhammad, for giving me the confidence to conquer all of this fear they tried to put in me here tonight. I don't want to overlook it.
Describe this to us. Here he's coming towards you. He's moving in. You counter, I think.
I know I just blocked that right hand with my elbow. See, you notice my guard is down. I can't be hit because I have split-second timing with footwork and head work.
All right, now watch it. Here it goes, in my opinion, as I look back. Halfway through this first round, or a little better. He's off balance.
I'm glad you're showing this in slow motion. I see why now. So fast, I don't guess you can see me in real action, Harley.
You're too tough for me. You're too tough for me to see. All right, let's be looking closely. A long time in slow motion for this to happen.
Who are they howling about?
No.
That's right hand.
Right hand. The right hand hurt him.
Right hand. Right hand.
Watch it.
What was it?
Watch it.
Right hand.
Watch it.
Did you think he was getting up?
Oh, I knew he would fall early, but I wanted it to be about 3 or 4 minutes later.
Why are you standing over him?
I was trying to tell the bum to get up and fight. People.
Why are you doing that? Tell me why.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Hold it, don't say nothing. Didn't I tell you my poem?
Yes,
Listen, said this time I'm a bigger fool. I'm flat on my back instead of the stool. And I'll be damned if it's not right.
Okay. Muhammad, I know it's right. I know it's right. Oh, wait a minute. We're showing it again. We're showing it again. Here it is one more time. Now in fast motion, we're showing it so the folks get the real timing. Look closely. This is a once in a lifetime. There's the knockout.
So Muhammad Ali would begin his first reign as the heavyweight champion of the world, and a great reign it was even before his banishment, Bert. Much less is known about Sonny Liston from this point forward. I know, Bert, I'm always wondering, why didn't Sonny Liston go back and at least get back to the elite or challenge for the heavyweight championship again? What happened from this point?
Well, Sonny basically was born with 2 strikes against him. We know very little about him when he was born. He was one of 25 children. We do know that he was in prison as a thug and a mug in St. Louis. He started fighting after winning the national AAU heavyweight championship and was mobbed up at that point. Blinky Palermo took him under his wing, one of the Frankie Carbo fighters. He really never had a break. He thought he would, once he beat Floyd Patterson, become popular.
Didn't happen.
Nobody adopted him as their hero. In fact, before the fight, even Jack Kennedy and Roy Wilkins, head of the NAACP, basically said that Floyd should not defend his title against him. So now we've got a man who in society is a loser. He loses to Clay/Ali, first and second fights.
Seems discouraged, greatly discouraged even after that fight. Even the people that, you know, you can say, well, did he throw that fight? We've talked about that, but he just looked discouraged and broken at that point.
He had several other fights. Leotis Martin basically ends his career. He has one last fight against Chuck Wepner, wins that, and it's really the end of Sonny Liston.
What about the end of his life?
Now he moves to Vegas, and we don't know exactly what he did out there. Some said he was a numbers runner, some said that he was in drugs, some said that he was mobbed up. All we know is 2 things. One, at the one of the casinos, he got into an argument with a very big mob boss, Don, a Don of a major family. Slapped him on the back. The Don boss said, "Don't do that, Sonny." Hit him again. He said, "I told you not to do it." He did it a 3rd time. The man turned around and said, "I'm going to have you killed." 3 weeks later, he was dead. Needle marks in his back. And here's a man who hated needles. We don't know how, why, where. Sonny Liston remains a mystery.
And so the greatest had fulfilled his bold prophecy. At age 22, he shook up the world, embarrassing Sonny Liston to claim the heavyweight championship. But this would only be the colorful beginning to a long and storied career. Be sure to catch Ringside, Banned from Boxing, the next chapter in Ali's life. In this 3-hour special, we'll roll out the final fights before his eventual ban from boxing, including a blistering knockout of Cleveland Williams at the Astrodome, and his last fight versus Zora Foley. Also, we'll examine the champ's controversial views on Vietnam and what they meant to his boxing career. For program information, log on to ESPN.com. Keyword Ringside.